rising. You already know the vibes. And NAGA The Wise. That son be baking me, yo. Like red. But the same color as that live, but like burnt orange, burnt red out this bitch. Anyway, you already know the vibes, yo. You see the title, next level, sections A through D. Um, I be wanting to get to these conversations so bad. Like I be wanting to get to these sections because like I've been way past spirituality for a long time, you know what I'm saying? And I know like if I start talking about other shit, I'm gonna go so far past the normal comprehension of how people see shit and know shit. Nobody's gonna understand. People don't understand really much now. Like they tap in a little bit, but people don't really understand hardly much of anything that I be dropping. They can tap in some. I know some people be understanding or whatever, but I be wanting to get to the next sections. Cause that's the real shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the real knowledge. Like all I could do is say stuff like it's similar, or it's kind of like that, or you close. Oh yeah, that's a good job. I can only say stuff like that. Or yeah, nah, you walking towards it. I can say stuff like that. But when it really comes to like the real knowledge, it's so much more, yo. It's so much more, and that's the stuff I want to talk about, because those are the levels that I'm in, and I know that they're real. They're not. It's not speculation. And then what's crazy is most of the things that I tap into, there's not a book that exists for it. There's just no book. Ain't nobody studying that. It's not no scholarly understanding. I don't give a damn. And somebody, and I be listening. I started noticing the magnetism of conscious awareness itself is powerful. And when you do start tapping into different levels of understanding, it'll just come. You'll see it. It'll come through whatever source it needs to come through to show itself to you. And that's how I be knowing. You know what I'm saying? Like some shit'll show up out of the blue and I'll be like, I just was talking about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I can tell if they off a little bit or whatever. And then sometimes I say some shit into a device or to somebody and they be like, what? I don't know what that is. So I never heard of that before. You know what I'm saying? And but it's real. It's accurate. The thing about knowledge is you don't have to you don't have to study to obtain nothing. You just got to keep yourself open for the divine. And that's how you get the knowledge, right? So that discipline unlocks a doorway to where symbolic to a river flowing, you can open that door and have consciousness flow the same way whenever need be. But respectfully, to get keys to that would have to be respectfully. Like you handled that respectfully and disciplined, valued. So then you get past all these basics and then you can start understanding really what all this shit is for. You know what I'm saying? You can stand at a pool pit, you can open a book, you can flip pages, you can yell at people, you can tell people they living wrong and all this shit forever. But that ain't nothing. That's just the basics. You know what I'm saying? That's just like a part, that's like a characteristic part of the basics. Divine is infinite knowledge. So how do you think you're gonna stay on one part of infinite knowledge forever? It's so much more to that. Like it's, you know what I'm saying? And it does stuff. It's just not shit you tell people. It does stuff. Of course, you're supposed to have the basic disciplines to adhere to where this stuff comes from first. That's just like if I go to a club, I gotta go past the person who you pay for the ticket for and get the band, right? You pay for the ticket, and the next person puts the band on your arm or give you a stamp, and you can get liquor or whatever they do, you know, like that. So you gotta go through certain levels to get to the next level. That's how that shit works with in reality. You're not gonna break these chains that are inside of you without divine. It's just not gonna happen. And that all aligns with the basics, which unfortunately the basics was manipulated with something that y'all call religion. and they kept y'all dogmatically stuck, so you never seen the infinite connections of everything else that divine has planned for its creation. So yeah, I'll be wanting to talk about the next level stuff, but I'll be like, damn, yo, everybody's still on this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, y'all stay on this shit forever. Like, I just be wanting somebody that knows something to build with sometimes. And then like even the brothers that are scholars, some of the brothers out here, they scholars on the old knowledge. Like they scholars on shit that was from back in the day, and they learning old languages and all that. And that's good. It's cool in some aspect. But also it states the value that you believe if you was to go forward, you wouldn't have no comprehension on what was new. That means you don't believe divine can adhere it to you. That means you don't believe the source of everything is almighty. You see how that follows? Like you gotta have that respect for the energy in itself first. And then once you know that you got that respect for the energy and you don't have no doubt in it, you don't have no false formulation to what you believe it is, you're just responding to it for what it is, and you know that, then you start opening up other doorways. You know what I'm saying? We don't get this far in the future to go way backwards, yo. Like that shit don't make no sense. And I get why people go backwards, but it was something that was pulling me away from going backwards. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was the thing. It would pull me away from going backwards. You know what I'm saying? I would want to go back there and try and, tap into some of the old shit. And I tried to. But what happened was every time I would go back and start looking at old things, I would have like a different affinity. It would be like this energy that would be on me. You low ass nigga. And not me. I would be looking at that energy like that shit weak. Like they could have did this. It's like my consciousness is already past. Like if I was who I am back then, I would have been the shit regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I'm looking at it. Like I would have been already known all that stuff. Cause it feels like when I look at it, like I know it, but I just don't remember. It's like my physical orientation has mastered it already, even though I don't know the language or not in this time familiar with the things that they did. It's like when I get around it, I feel like I've been playing that game forever. Like Mario or something. Like you ain't playing no damn Mario. I don't beat this shit 100 times. It feel like that when I go back to old knowledge. It feel like I've been around it, even though I don't really remember it. You know what I'm saying? So for some reason, something's like nudging me to go the opposite direction, and I be feeling that shit. So I'll go the opposite direction, and then have like a slight, not disrespect, but disdain in a sense, like a slight non-content for it. Like I don't want to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's, I don't know, like I tried to get into it, but I keep moving forward, like a river. It won't. It's like what, basically, yeah, like that, like walking backwards in a river that's moving forward. You feel that. You feel like a slight push against you. So whenever I tried to go back to look at old knowledge, that's what it would feel like. Like the river was still moving forward, and I'm trying to push through it to get back to the other shit, which didn't make no sense to me. But there is infinite knowledge with divine. So that would make you think like, damn, we still sitting on the first rock in the beginning of the water. Like y'all way up there. And symbolically, if you think about it, when people, go swimming and shit like that, you be swimming at the beginning of the river. You know what I'm saying? You ain't trying to go in them rapids unless you got a boat. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to see the next levels and shit. You don't go in the deeper parts. There might be something in there. A little scared, a little fear. You start seeing the mentalities move the same way universally. Um, I'm so ready to tap into and start, sharing the next level knowledges. And I understand why I'm not able to do it right now because of the selfish energy that still exists. I can fill in a lot of blanks to what people be trying to do. And I be knowing that shit, and I be like, that's why you're not supposed to say nothing until those minds and those hearts break back into the right direction. It's pointless. It's pointless. But I do want to share, like, it's next level shit, and it ain't all biblical and suits and all this shit, and ooh, ah, it's not all that, and, harps and wings and all that shit. This shit is next level. This energy is dynamic in so many characteristics. And incrementally, there are steps that we could have been just like jump past, right? But that dogmatic energy keeps you in a certain mentality to where it's like, I can't I can't see it. I can't get it clearly, and it's unfortunate. Contrast to popular belief. Um, the comprehension of what a God is and having that to be a relevant comprehension, that's going to be changed in the future because the logic to it is just it doesn't hold weight for what it's supposed to be as its position. It's not a logical connection. The supreme energy, right? Divine, the supreme energy that creates everything, good, bad, and indifferent. That energy created so-called what you call gods today. Physical formalizations that can speak, breathe, eat, move about, make decisions, stuff of this notion. That is a creation. So that's just a sidebar, though. That's not the whole orientation to a comprehension. What I'm trying to get you to see, though, that had to be made. So even in its own jurisdiction of rising to its source comprehension of what created it, the energy of knowing, that comprehension is one and the same with what the source is. It's not you, it's what was borrowed. That's free will. That's the difference. Like they combined, all right, consciousness itself, right? Consciousness itself is divinity. That's the source of all things. The infinite consciousness is the creator energy of all things, right? Can't be moved, unfathomable, all power known to anything known and unknown, highest scales, everything, anything that could be thought and unthought, not thought, that's that source energy, right? It's almighty. Now, to have a piece of that, to give you animation, access to think, create, and all of that, that's you borrowing that energy. But symbolic to its being a piece, it gained dimension, shape, formulation, size, and depth by its separation from its source, right? When that happened, that consciousness, which is thought, was given free will because it was separate from that. Doesn't mean it didn't have a continuous tether. That tether is still there. You had the choice to make a decision other than being attached. When that realization, when free will was given via separation, acknowledgement took place. Some acknowledged individually, some acknowledged as a whole. When the ones acknowledged individually, they classified themselves individually. When the ones acknowledged as a whole, they classified themselves as the whole. It didn't make them that. It's what they classified themselves as. Either way, the pattern is still leading. It's like if I sweep one dirt into a pile of dirt, it's a pile of dirt. It has to come together, right, to be a pile of it. The source is where it all is. So when we come towards that, we become back to the source. You can always leave, right, because you were given the thought of freedom. Free will is a free thought. Consciousness, meaning you can be your own consciousness. I'm going to take this consciousness off my shoulder and let you be conscious on your own. But you're from me. And whenever you come back to me, this is the power that you are. So the comprehension doesn't alleviate one thing from the next, and it doesn't rise something to a standard. This is not a race. It's either you're a part or you're not. And if you're not a part, you're individually. And if you're a part, then that means you're a part of the whole. You don't take on ownership of the complete because you realize you're a part of it. And that's what happens to individual parts that had a chance to grow. So that dilutes the whole understanding logically for it even being in existence of what you want to call a God, or what they made the word in Germanic terms, Gud, God, Gawd, Odin, Woden, and all these other things that mean the same thing. So that's the hardest comprehension, right? letting that be something relevant. Hold on a second. It must have been a big truck. Letting that be something relevant as far as how you project your particular understanding on what you represent. Because now you're sending that consciousness into that loop of comprehension. So that loop of comprehension by default is stabilizing you as a separate. This is why I want to go to the next level so bad. Like talking about it on the basis of how everybody else deal with it, it's gonna keep y'all stuck. But like I'm way past spirituality. I've been way past spirituality for years, yo, but I gotta stay on this part. And I'm like so eager just to go ahead and start talking about the next level shit. Because it's actual. And I understand why they did it the way they did. And what people think they're doing, they think they growing in spirituality when you're just moving around on one big ass rock. You're not growing anywhere. You're just moving around in a circle. There's nowhere to go. You know what I'm saying? You're going around on one rock like this, and the river is still flowing past you. It's flowing around the rock. Everything divine that's in that comprehension is around the rock, but you're sitting on the rock in the middle of divinity. And everything is flowing. So all that continuous consciousness that's infinite is going. And you're sitting on a damn rock talking about we created spirituality or we created religion. Yeah. Nah, divine is infinite. So all that authority, fake shit, and this person screaming loud, talking about the law and the Lord, all this dumb shit, like, that is not divinity. That is not almighty. I get it, though. I'm not saying it's inadmissible. I'm saying it's not continuous. Who wants to stay stuck on the basics forever? And you ain't learned the basics yet. All that standing in front of a pulpit, all that reading books and telling people this, telling people that, you don't know you haven't started adhering to doing the basics yet. That's why people can't get past the next level of knowledge. You talking about the entity that created us is everything, all things, constantly, for eternity. And we're still talking about religion, what somebody else did. Like, tell me that makes sense to you? Logically, that makes logical sense to you? Something that's continuously flowing. You're talking about what someone else did at a time that's not even relevant to your existence. Like, that's what y'all, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit crazy. It's the lag is like somebody talks for 10 minutes and then you thought nobody was on the phone. And then you like, hello? And they done hung up and then the words finally come through. And you try to respond and then the phone go, they done hung up already because the lag in the phone is so nasty. It's like that. And that's how the study is. It's like a lag, like a crazy lag. Like, well, I need to worry about what their mistakes was. That river be flowing, and Almighty can make acclamation happen at his highest attribute. So why would I let a person tell me to hold back and listen to their stories based on the fact of the incapability of divine? Divine ain't got no incapabilities. That means I'm listening to a man develop incapabilities so they can watch what divine does with his. No, that's not how that shit works. It's not supposed to be. Let me step around. I'm about to walk around this line and go up here with the Almighty and let y'all sit there and listen to this motherfucker talking about repeating the same stories a million days by Sunday. Real rap. Divine is infinite, yo. And you got to be able to listen to that first thought. Listen, if the basics ain't reign supreme in your head as ownership yet, like divine just basically telling everybody, I own you. You mines. Y'all looking at it as some romanticized shit. Divine told you, I called you by name. I give you the desires of your heart. I know every grain of sand like every star in the sky. This is before you reach the womb. If that shit was said any other planar, you could put that shit with golden tassels on a card and say plaque, or say certificate of ownership. Make it make sense. Like, y'all want to sit there and debate dumb shit. No, divine basically telling you, if you are adhering to this energy, you are mine. I created you. And this process of how I created you is what's going to serve your existence. Once you get past that basic understanding, you start moving within the flow of everything. You're moving within the infinite consciousness because that's what you were created from. So what else are you supposed to do but be that? Back in the day, we used to say, shit, we're here to be the master universal problem solvers because we can always tap into something. We was always quick to look at every little intricate value of everything. Then they started giving alcohol and drugs and shit in the wrong situation. And everybody was like, yo, I'm linked right now. No thoughts. You was linked. You was feeling good. No moderation to the value of even knowing what that is. What was alcohol for? Well, alcohol is fermentation. Wine is fermentation. Why is it good for you? Because of the bacteria in the stomach. You're not supposed to get drunk. You're supposed to drink it for the usage. So that's why a glass of wine every so often was good for you, because it's good for the dietary supplements in your body. It's just like drinking pickle juice. The right kind of brine, though, not the kind that they put vinegar in, the brine. The kind that makes probiotic. It's like champagne. It was a liquid fungus that's beneficial for your stomach. You weren't supposed to, let's just get drunk. So they said, fuck it, let's make liquor. Dump more sugar and yeast and let's make some more in it. That's how that became what that was. Everything has a line, had a line of symmetry. Where something was done right, they went overboard with you know what I'm saying? That's everything in life. That's why you're not supposed to share everything that's good with everybody, because as soon as it's good for you, they're going to take it, twist it, cut it, chop it, flip it, rub it down, and distribute it with no life in it. Y'all want to play? I don't like playing games. I don't even like following people. You know what I'm saying? I like what Devon said, because Devon said it right the first time. And it was like, yo, why do you want to change the truth? Because Devon said it right the first time. You don't fix you can't fix what's already fixed or what's complete. You have to break it to fix it. And then you have to break it, confuse the people that watched you break it, or kill those people. And then who's left and didn't know you broke it, you have to reteach them about what you broke in your way. That's the only way you could do that, because Divine is almighty. Why would Divine make something imperfect? That's what was told to creations that couldn't stand to that value. That's why it was an absolute knowledge. They had to say that, like, nah, we couldn't do what they did. And they couldn't even change the tongue of it. That's what you call absolute. Even in your lie, you can't change the tongue. So that means people ain't really paying attention. So if I listen to your story, I'm like, yo, you telling on yourself and you sound real dumb. And you must be talking to stupid people. Because most stupid people be like, yeah, that makes sense. No, I'm listening to what you're saying. I'm listening to everything you're saying. I'm taking some of the shit you're saying. I'm saying that's not what that means. This is what it means. And you like, yeah, you right, my bad. And then I take that and I put it with the reality matched up to the understanding, and I show you all the defaults. And I'm like, yo, this ain't me. I'm just pointing out what you're saying. This shit ain't accurate. It ain't even logically sound as far as if what you want to have as religion. Y'all can romanticize that shit, but that shit is dumb. Divine don't need no help. Never did. The river don't need help right now. There's no river that's flowing that needs you to go over there and make it flow. It's gonna flow. What happens is shit gets in the way, right? Shit tries to grow in it. People throw rocks in it, trash, try to hide stuff under the water. You cause things to happen. Something will cause it. That is inertia. An action with a reaction. I throw a ball against the wall, it's gonna bounce back, right? You do something, energy in, which energy has to circumvent it, come back. It's universal principle. It's a flow. You create your own flow every day by what comes out of you. But you're not mindful of that. So you let a lot of dumb shit come out of you and then be mad when it got to come back around, and then you lie to yourself like you don't remember when you set that shit out. Trying to show you how to ride the rapids of the universal river. This universal river be flowing, and there's a lot of good juju in that. It's a lot of good energy. It's a lot of good promise, optimism, pure unconditional love. Everything that you want, you don't have to second guess or think. It's the process of divinity. It's how it's supposed to be. But if you're going to sit on a rock while the water's going around, you're not going to get none of this shit. You're just going to sit on the rock and walk around in a circle talking about something, I'm going to tell you. All that yelling ain't never did nothing. It's the work you put in that means something, and your comprehension of it. 5 years will go by and I'll be 100 years in the future, carrying 100 years worth of knowledge while everybody's sitting there talking about the shit that we did, our ancestors did. Or my great-great-great-great-great-grandmother was doing this. don't give a shit. They gone. They gone. They left. Everything they needed for the time when they was here is gone with them. We in a whole nother dynamic, acting like we retarded out of fear. Y'all afraid to be what you are, yo. And other people who can't be it gonna make it hard for you to do that. You ain't gotta pay that shit no attention. It's just like a baby, you know what I'm saying, in the way while you trying to do something. You gonna pick that baby up and sit their ass down somewhere so you can finish doing what you're doing. Same thing, ignore it in your best way possible. Get strong so you can ignore things. What I wish a nigga would face. You know what I'm saying? Like, get strong like that so you can. Formulate your reality so you can get in the river and flow and bring forth fruition, true fruition. Not this rinky-dink shit that y'all be satisfying your life with or simultaneously saying that it's okay to settle for. Don't do that to yourself. Divine didn't want that for you. Divine didn't want that for you. Majority of the time, you be running your mouth so much, you run your mouth right into a situation that you don't want to deal with. Because you don't even know what good feel like. You think you missing out. Divine got what's for you, but you just ain't patient enough to get it. And on top of that, you want it to be based off how everything is given. Man, I've been left those ways and started following the divine. Ain't nobody gonna hold me back from listening to the Almighty. Is you crazy? Nobody. There's not a person that can ever do that. I will never let go of the divine. You're gonna have to take my life. And if divine allow that, then that's what's supposed to happen. But I doubt divine will give you that type of authority as much as I'm obedient. I love being obedient to the divine because I know what happens when you stay on your own damn road. And that shit ain't even familiar to most people because they don't know what that shit look like yet. Too busy doing shit that don't serve you. I get it. I get it. Best believe. But I'm not even mad at you for living that type of life. I'm here to tell you that that burden you don't have to suffer from. You're your worst enemy. You think everybody else your problem? Nah, you your enemy. Nobody else your problem. You your enemy. That's why you keep trying to do shit. Until you stop hurting yourself by reflecting your pain on other people because you just don't want to take accountability for all the bullshit you live in your life, you're not going to comprehend this. It's going to be unfathomable to you. Why would divine waste his time on giving it to a space that can't contain it? That's like me pouring all the milk in a coffee cup. And you sitting there watching me pour the whole gallon of milk in a coffee cup. It ain't going all the way. It's some of it coming out of the cup. Why it's coming out of the... Shut your stupid ass up. That's conversations we don't have. Because some things are just logically sound and you're just not going to do it. But in the reference of you not seeing that I'm trying to stuff whole steaks down my tight jeans and steal them out of the store, of course you're going to have blood leaking down your pants. They're going to catch your dumbass. Of course, that's how it's going to happen. What do you think it's not going to happen with the divine, the almighty too? So you think you just go, I'm going to go get this and just wear it. It don't fit you. Don't fit you. You ain't got the capacity. As soon as you put it in there, all that shit going to spill out all over the place. All praises to the Most High. But yeah, yo, I want to talk about the next level knowledge, yo, because there's some shit in there. And I be like, yo, just say this right here. And I was going to do it today, but as I started talking and letting divine like guide me as I'm speaking, something you got to learn too. You got to learn to have that here up. It's not something you try to do. You got to know how to be guided here. And it's literally a coordination with your mind and your speaking. You know, master in the throat. So when you coordinate your mind with your speaking and you know how to be guided, then you understood what it felt like the first time divine got you to say something or do something, and that feeling comes in, it speeds up faster and it starts to come as quick as you think. So your speaking will purify because you'll be used to what it feels like divine guiding you on what to say. So instead of you having to speak like this, hold on, divine right there, that shit fast, pop, 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 pop. And you can feel that feeling in between every thought. It's flowing like a river. It's like riding down a rapid, going down a hill, but you can feel divine carrying you. It's flowing down there, and it's the thoughts, it's the conscious. So the conscious is almost like a roller coaster. So it's like, but you feel divine holding it like this. And the more you let go, the more you allow divine to drive it, you start letting go. You feel like you ain't holding on to nothing. and you just flowing. Divine holding the car the whole time, bringing you through consciousness. So what you got to say is just flowing out. Every emotion starts to follow that same pretense and comprehension. It's all about believing in that light that can travel through endless anything without being disturbed. It's perfect environment. That's what light's perfect environment. Freedom, no distortion to crash into anything. Only when it's solidified into flesh that light makes shadows. Right? See shadow. The sun over there is a shadow. Right? So that's what I'm saying. That comprehension is fall. You know what I'm saying? But look, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I just wanted to bring this little upgrade because I'm going to start dropping them new shit soon. But I don't want to waste it on deaf ears. And I definitely don't want to toss to that swine. You heard? NAGA The Wise.